Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome, Edgar. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling wonderful. Hello, everyone. Welcome to VanirQuick. It's going to be the playoffs for FACEIT Expert. Remember exactly what's on the line here. You get all the way through here. Each of these teams are fighting for promotion into Season 8. Top 8 means that you get last chance qualifiers. Top 2 means an automatic promotion. And if you're in the bottom 4, well then, bottom 8, should I say. Sorry to say it, but you get to go. VanirQuick versus Telacy today. We are going to be going in very, very short, ladies and gentlemen. Ilios is our first map, and we don't exactly have a lot of time to discuss things. But VanirQuick, as we well know, a pretty stacked up roster. They're made predominantly of the former Quick Esports roster, so they have a ton of talent on the team. Telacy, as we actually have a little bit more time because they're going to be on hold. Telacy is a very, very diverse roster. They have players from all over the shop, all over Europe. They have them in Ireland, Sweden, Korean players, German players, and they've been put together and they've done decently for themselves. They were able to get 10th in the regular season, so definitely not the worst. They were able to get here in 5 maps against Crazy Dodo because, again, Expert isn't real. But now they're going to have to face up against VanirQuick, and I can estimate that it's going to be a bit of a tough day at the office for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big best of 5 before, right? A 3-2 is a long day at the office compared to the 3-0 from VanirQuick going to all 5 maps. But, I mean, again, the Tier 1 talent from VanirQuick's side is certainly a tall task for any team, I think, in this tournament, in this bracket. So never a nice one to play, second round in, but they should be feeling good off, I believe it was a reverse sweep, if I'm not incorrect. It was a reverse sweep. So they've got some momentum from yesterday. They're going to be feeling confident with their adjustments and their plays. But yeah, it's certainly a tough one. And I'm looking forward to seeing if they can put up more of a fight than Team Peps Academy did.
Yeah, we kind of have to temper our expectations here before we go into things, ladies and gentlemen, because are VanirQuick the favourites? Yes. Do you have money? Do you want to gamble? Of course you do. You put the money on VanirQuick. Channel points even, should you so wish. I don't exactly know what that setup is, but no, VanirQuick are absolutely the favourites here. But then that also gives them an element of expectation, right? They are expected to 3-0, and they're expected to do it in quite dominant one-sided fashion. So any moral victory that you can take for Telacy here is going to be something greatly appreciated. Now, the meta has been a bit diverse, but generally things will obviously revolve right back down to the Zarya and Commonwealth, normally with the Vendetta as well. Ilios on the first map, that's going to work just fine for you, though if you have the potential, Skytor is a fantastic Winston player. So if you want to go for a Winston and then possibly a Diva on the other side, that could work as well for you. Bust out the Rhine because, who even cares at this point? There's a lot of options available to these teams on Ilios, but I wouldn't be surprised if everything kind of coalesced right back to the Zarya Vendetta, which we've been so used to.
Yeah, absolutely. And interestingly, second map in their series, a map they did lose, it was New Donk City, so a different mode to the Ilios control, but Flashpoint obviously focusing around those points and a bit more fast paced. They did ban out the Vendetta Telacy, so maybe not feeling the most comfortable on that character, at least not in that scenario. But despite that ban, they did lose that map, so maybe it was a mistake on their part. But I'd be interested to see if they are more comfortable on that hero coming into this series, if they're looking to pick it up on this map specifically. I mean, the Freya ban, the Hog ban, definitely don't change too many things in my eyes. I don't see them being the be all and end all characters. Hog is unique and difficult to play into, but if you're a better team, you know how to work around it. So I don't think that changes things massively. And the Freya ban, another character that does a lot of damage, does a lot of burst, but yeah, not too unique in that it can't be replaced.
I'm going to say the Freya and the Hog have a little bit more value than we're giving it credit for. I think Freya is a fantastic hit scan in terms of the there are two of the points specifically on Lighthouse and not so much Well, but Lighthouse and especially Ruins, where Freya can really dominate the lobby, and so being able to get rid of that, so for that long range pressure to enable your dive better, works quite well. Hog is niche, but Hog is actually not terrible on Well, which is about the most I can give it credit for. It's a little bit, we'll say that much. Tell you what, right now we're on hold. We were expecting to go in quite quickly, but the enemy team has called for the admin. We don't have more information yet. Obviously, we want to get the action to you as soon as possible, so we're going to go to a quick break to figure out exactly what's going on there, and then we will be in the lobby the moment that we can. So don't go anywhere, we'll be back shortly. Hello, welcome back. So, FACEIT exploded. You know, it happens to the best of us. So we're going to be going forward in a private lobby. We should be going to any moment now. Everything that we said before is the exact same. So Ilios is going to be map number 1. Fans are going to be the exact same. The Freya and the Hog. So, you know, Hog, maybe a little bit of a beef pick, maybe a little bit of a meme, but that's okay for us. The Freya is unironically incredibly strong, especially if you're Fenris.
Yeah,
which is odd. Again, Vanir was the one that banned this. Fenris not going to be picking up that character, but plenty of other hit scans in the water to be played.
Yeah, maybe looking for some alternative hit scan characters just to cover the ground left by the Freya ban. Maybe looking at the other team and seeing something specific there. But here we get the team comps with the Symmetra brought up with a TP, maybe a switch on that. We'll have a look. And the Lucio, Kiriko, yeah, there's the Tracer from Fenris. And we got an Echo and a Diva. And then on the other side, we got the Diva mirror with an Echo mirror and a Sojourn, and the Lucio and Kyria mirrored as well. We get started in this map. And early doors, Nikachu brought down low, but he'll back up. Just getting hit by those Echo mines. And pressured out by Skydoor here. He's going to fly around and get on that mini with the flank from Fenris. And here it is. The Diva brought down low Rosalind. Yeah, low HP, but yeah, just getting some support. And Kylo Ren with the first pick onto SXJ.
It's going to be the first pick, but VanirQuick still have the objective. We've seen like 2 different styles here. VanirQuick, they went to take position on the high ground. But that didn't quite pay off. They were able to get good map control, sure, but the survivability ends up going over to Telacy, so they're able to retake the point right back. So not bad work for them. The only real difference here is going to be the Sojourn versus the Tracer. So arguably Telacy would be the ones wanting to play the open spaces while Fenris could control some of the close angles, but we'll have to see exactly how these teams develop their craft as the map goes on.
Yeah, just some brawly fights on the point right now. There is little high ground control, and Kylo Ren's going to be searching for his Echo mirror, but pressured out forces a little bit of awkwardness, brought down low and has to escape. And they're looking to flip the point, but yeah, still remaining contested. Rosalind here pressuring out Skydoor, who gets the Suzu from Yoam and does live out. And it's just a big brawl in this fight. Lots on the mech on the Rosalind. That's huge value as Kylo Ren traded, and there's a nice headshot from Eclipse onto Strebor. VanirQuick looking slightly ahead in this fight. The Pulse not going to find much value, but Possessive with the headshot on the baby Diva. Just Possessive here. Looking for any picks you can get. And yeah, it's a 1 out of 5 by Telacy actually. VanirQuick forced backwards.
Quite a strange fight there. We see that Nikachu invests the sound barrier. Strebor died, wasn't able to charge up to their own to match it, but he's going to have the advantage to go that now. Instead, it's a Kitsune Rush, which comes out relatively early from Possessive. VanirQuick, they don't really have the opportunity to just kite this one. Doki is desperately looking for a juke, eventually gets it onto the Diva.
Yeah, going to look up to build this bomb early. Might get some pressure out. The Kiri brought very low HP, and yeah, that's Possessive down, and both supports are lost for Telacy. Nikachu also gone, and the Diva bomb from the Echo gets Eclipse. It's almost inexcusable. Looking for the remake here as well. Can't quite get it, but yeah, that beam going to bring down to baby Diva. Skydoor punches her away, and yeah, that's going to be a nice flip for VanirQuick. Very good fight, very clean. But yeah, also Telacy has got up 88%.
A bit of an advantage with the support ults there. VanirQuick again utilizing their latest sound barrier in that fight to have more effective HP, and Doki Watcher definitely getting the more effective. I believe that would be SXJ getting the much more effective Jeep with the DV and going so deep for a dive, and then you have that second life bomb as well. It's just guaranteed value no matter what way you slice it.
Fenris is playing some risky games here, brought down low a couple of times, but very good at playing his life and keeping himself ticket up, and just pressure on the side here. Sojourn forced out, gets that pick. Oh, the Echo traded. Wow. Both mines getting big value. And it's chaotic in this Diva fight. Rosalind brings down Yoam, and the bomb force getting that remake for Skydoor. But oh, in the meantime, the railgun takes down Fenris. And it's advantage Telacy once more. Another beautiful fight. This Sojourn get huge value. Looking much better than the Tracer pick here. Maybe they're just picking their fights better.
VanirQuick need to be all over this Sojourn, right? They cannot let her breathe, or else you see exactly what happens. She goes exceptionally early with the sound barrier, tried to stop VanirQuick touching the point, but it's going to be not particularly strong.
Yeah, VanirQuick brought down with only a few players remaining possessive with the 2K. Just Skytor. And I believe the Tracer's alive as well. Fenris, yeah, trying to cause a hazard, but brought down to maybe 5 HP. Guess health back up. The Baby Diva brought down by Rosalind, and Eclipse going to close out Fenris, and that will be point 1. Well, goes the way of Telacy.
Yeah, remember what we said earlier in this one? VanirQuick, absolutely the favorites, definitely not expected to be winning here, but you know, we can see on the scorecards at the end, the MVP actually Nikachu being able to charge up to 2 sound barriers compared to Streber's 1, being able to put out so much damage, so much healing to get both those perks online. Fenris's Tracer, I mean, I don't particularly know Fenris as a Tracer player, to be honest. You know, so I think that putting Fenris on the hit scan is going to be a much better time. So now it's just going to be a hard mirror between the teams. Look to see exactly how each individual matchup can be made. Coming on to Lighthouse, map control is everything. I like the fact that Yoham is not going to stay, but just going to use the speed ring to get that team a little further, a little faster, which could make all the difference in the long run.
I don't know, perhaps we're already seeing the ramifications of that Freya ban, right? Because the Tracer comes out and doesn't get huge value, but Yoham with an insta pick on the Eclipse, who was huge in the value last round. So that's massive for the early fight. Obviously, point not open quite yet, so they're going to have to wait out. But yeah, look, Telacy forced to back away here without their primary carry of round 1. And yeah, so it's just some pressure on the height right now. And the cap is going to look like it's going the way of VanirQuick. No pressure onto that point. Here's the contest. Actually comes through. But yeah, forced off, and there's that capture. Suzu out. Keeps the Sojourn alive, and it's a nice D-mech and kill on that Baby Diva. Rosalind punished for going for that contest in the first place. So yeah, it's a really good early fight. There's Kylo Ren down too. Yoham getting some huge kills right now.
Not sure how I feel about that contest, to be completely honest. You end up just staggering yourself out longer. By the time you're going to be able to get a refight, you're only going to start at about 30%, maybe cap the point at 40 if you're lucky. It's a numbers game here. Right near VanirQuick have all of the numbers on their side. Skartor still pushing quite aggressively, just trying to stuff Telacy, stop them from peeking again. Eclipse was the problem last time. If you're able to stop them from getting angles, have Fenris cover all of them, you're going to be in a much better looking spot.
Fenris has this rail charged up, looking to find a pick, and can't quite land that shot. Unfortunate there, but Rosalind forced it back away. And yeah, Kylo Ren's brought down by the SXJ Echo. And it's another early pick in a fight that just puts VanirQuick in such a good stead for the remainder of this combat. And just fighting under bridge. And yeah, the Telacy don't want to go in yet. Obviously, they are down a player, so they're going to wait for that regroup.
Look at Yoham's
already up
ult
to 60%. Oh
yeah,
my
look at
goodness,
Yoham's ult charge. Already going to have a Kitsune rush here. Telacy have nothing to work with. VanirQuick, if their ult tracking is on point right now, they can just walk in with their cooldowns, with their movement speed, with their fire rate, and Telacy just have to be on the back foot the entire time, but you can't Matrix a beam, Skytor. That's not how it works, brother.
Yeah, Fenris caught out of position, perhaps getting a little bit excited by those early fight picks, and the Lucio almost picked on that, but Toki, watch it, SXJ goes huge, the mines and the beam, and then switches to the Lucio, trying to build up that beat. It's going to farm it out now, that's the extra HP, the effective going to fall away, but yeah, with a third kill early on, sorry, late on into this fight, and Nikachu now down, can't build up the barrier themselves. Yeah, SXG is going to escape. Yoham with the Suzu and the TP lives, and it's overtime now. That contest comes through. And here's all those ults. That rush. Going to get huge value. Eclipse with the right click. And SSJ is down, brought down. The D-Mech comes through onto Rosalind. So they're down basically their tank. But there's so much going on. They're going to flip the point. They win that fight out, Telacy. It's a really good job here. And the rail overclock coming through. Can't quite get a pick from Eclipse, but does enough to force VanirQuick away. The Skytor's back in, and the rush going to come through from Telacy now. Just preventing an early flip from VanirQuick. They're going to have to wait and regroup. Unless some picks can come through. And here they come through, SXJ and Fenris. That's huge news. And there's another one. Oh, and the beat gets Ajax. It's really nice play. Yoham with another headshot and that boop, and I believe there was a little bit of booster jets there. I don't really know how they won that fight, but they did.
I, I mean, a lot of things, right? The crucial part, because there's so many moving parts, right? Rosalind got demech'd again in the fight, despite the fact that we had seen a dupe onto the Kiri to get a last-second Suzu to save Rosalind's life. Rosalind just wasn't able to get back into the mech. This meant that even though it was a 4v5 for a lot of that, in favor of Telacy, Skytor was still there in the mech, and you know that your tank is worth about 3 people in the right circumstances. That pressure, combined with the fact that Strebel was able to charge a beat at the last second to completely counteract Possessive's Kitsune rush, in fact, even timing it near the end of the Kitsune rush to go in, it was kind of a perfect storm of combinations, ults, and a little bit of luck going the way of VanirQuick, but they looked to be basically all in control on that point.
Yeah, the speed optimization monster again coming out, and we got the Vendetta and Zarya switch for both sides. So again, a mirrored comp here. Interesting to see what we'll see out here. Nice early bubble, gets a lot of value, but Skytor just going to be brought right back up. Eclipse looking for an angle, but can't even charge that rail right now. Hard to find targets, gets a few headshots off. But yeah, oh my goodness, Kylo Ren on Strebel. Caught out and gets Rosalind on Skytor too, and it's a great first fight from Telacy. Rosalind finds 2. And VanirQuick just kind of out of nowhere. 1 pick leads to 3. And they are going to get away with the Vendetta, I believe. Yeah, just escaping there. SXJ, good movement to get away from that high charge Zarya. And if you're VanirQuick, you're not happy with how that first fight goes.
Yeah, that's the kill power of a Vendetta, right? Even though VanirQuick had superior positioning, they were stuffing Telacy back towards their own choke. You get complacent for just a moment, and that can happen. The problem is, complacency is a double-edged sword, which Vendetta knows all too much about, and both of these Vendettas have realized by inting their brains out in the mid-fight.
This is insane. Skytor brought up to 100 charge, and despite what looked like an int for SXJ, it actually gave so much space for 4 picks to come through. I believe it was Strebel first, finding, I'm not quite sure who, on the right-hand side, but all that space made by a Vendetta with a Zarya bubble allows VanirQuick to control that point and control those kills. And I think we're about to see the complete flip, the complete reverse, with a Vendetta on the height and an early beat.
Oh!
And here comes the aggression. Strebel gonna try and escape, and does make it away. Down to 40. Can he live the Vendetta with 2? And Skytor's off the map.
I am so
Kylo Ren going huge.
I'm so impressed with Nikachu, right? Able to charge up to a beat. Strebel was at 59% by the time that Nikachu already had a beat. Both teams had only won the 1 fight, so Nikachu clearly just putting in so much damage and healing, recognizing that a lot of your value on Luzio is that ultimate. You go in so aggressively with it, and then VanirQuick, they're just pushed way too far forward to have a clean disengage.
And here we get the mirrored rushes. And the tank already brought down. Rosalind once getting it down early, gives Skytor the ability to take down the Kiriko too. Possessive brought down, and there's Fenris on Nikachu as well. And once more, it's just that tank advantage coming in straight away for VanirQuick. It seems to be the way they're winning most of their fights, which is a bit concerning when okay, Kylo Ren's going crazy with Fenris. It's not over yet, but SXJ, yeah, going to wipe out that Vendetta. It looked a bit scary, and they got a few more ticks of percentage about that. I believe about 5 more from that stall, but it does lead to a bit of a stagger. But yeah, you want your survivable tank to be living in these fights, and Rosalind's just finding it hard to not die so early on.
The strange thing here is now both teams have the grab Sundering Blade combo, which is, as we know, completely uncounterable. And, I mean, Kylo Ren's going to pop theirs, but this is the problem. SXJ got caught in the grab, wasn't able to use it. Fenris wants to flip it with the overclock, though.
Looking for some shots, but can't quite land that second. Oh, there's Eclipse brought down Yoam with the finishing blow. All that damage from Fenris does get confirmed. And looking to keep him alive as well. Yoam with a good Kiri performance right now. And off the side, Strebel going for that Vendetta, but the bubble is huge. Keeping him alive. There's that final blow. Strebel eventually gets the Vendetta, and there's that beautiful follow-up by SXJ. Nikachu once again brought down. Rosalind, low HP, and SXJ is going to go for the 3rd as well. Does find it too. Eclipse wiped out. What a fight from VanirQuick. And it's looking difficult now for Telacy. Low time and no ults. Maybe Nikachu can get touch and also build up beat. Eclipse with a beautiful pick and Fenris, actually. Looking to make it viable. SXJ going to have to back away. Has the Sundering Blade, though. So can use that on a point here. And here comes out with the bubble, looking for some fights. Kylo Ren in the meantime finds the Lucio, and nothing, no value there. And it's looking like Telacy have this fight.
I was gonna say that
crazy.
That would have been the sword of Damocles just hanging over the head of Telacy, but it just misses completely, right? I don't really understand the concept there. You should be in the sky. You should be there to try and get more value from that instead of just on the corner where it can be hidden from. Now just 10% left, and you have to try and get a touch on the point. Guess who's going to go aggro with a beat? It's Nikachu.
Yeah. Looking a bit more like the sword and the stone there, and look how far back Vanir have been forced. But yeah, there it is. SXJ does get the contest. Has to use that recall so early on. Does escape off to the side. And gets another touch on it. And the bubble is nice as well. Here comes the rush from Johan. But yeah, Strebel down early. Mirroring that kill from Fenris on the Nikachu. And yeah, it's big value. Fenris, second kill. Kylo Ren, who's been doing crazy work on that Vendetta, has brought down Rosalind too. And that's going to be a VanirQuick point. And a VanirQuick win. But big respect to Telacy, making this much closer than maybe we first thought.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, you're just charging sound barriers at the speed of light, it seems. Absolutely ridiculous gameplay coming out from there. But at the end of the day, kind of the name recognition and what we expect from VanirQuick comes out on top anyway. I mean, wow, that one was a much closer affair than we thought it would be. I mean, we can kind of break down each individual sub point because the first one was one I think Eclipse was playing. Eclipse was playing absolutely fantastically, out of their mind. Now there was the ability to there was kind of the bounce. There they just seemed a lot more comfortable playing their game. They had Fenris on the Tracer on the first point for some reason, and Fenris isn't really a Tracer player. If anyone on this team was going to play the Tracer, it would be SXJ, right? Who ended up picking up the Vendetta near the end. Once Fenris came out on the Tracer, it's like, okay, what are we even doing here, fellas? It was an odd matchup. Go over to the Sojourn. Oh, you win all of a sudden. Crazy. Then we got to that final point where it seemed, how do I put this in a nice way? It seemed like a bit of a throw-off between the teams. Losing a fight when you use the Grav Sundering Blade, and then having VanirQuick's final fight where the only art on the board is your Sundering Blade. All that you have to do is soar up into the sky on a corner, hold the blade over the point, and then, yeah, anyone who touched it is a death trap. Zarya sure as hell ain't gonna bubble it, right? You know, you can't beat it. There's absolutely nothing that you can do. Instead, we use it into a tree, we bomb a ficus, basically, and then we almost lose the fight because of that, and then almost lose the map because of that as well. And then the beat, I get the idea of the aggressive beat engage, but no one caught the fact, oh yeah, SXJ swapped a Tracer for touch, because of course he did. Why would he not do that? It was I feel like both of these teams' mentals and composures crumbled the further that we got into this series. So we can take a step back and breathe, all right? The team that we expected to win did win. Shambali Monastery is going to be the next map that we go to, and that's a Telacy pick, which is a map type where you can very much slow things down a bit.
Yeah, and I'm very interested by the VanirQuick ban on Vendetta here, and the Wu Yang from the other side as well, but the Vendetta ban, I did like what Kylo Ren was putting out there. Got a lot of fights where he'll get 2 or 3 quite early on, and just snowball it completely. And it's a character who feels really hard to flip against. Like, as soon as the Vendetta gets 1, it's like they're just on you like a rash. They build up those stacks of that attack speed, that movement speed, and it's really hard to get away from it. So I don't mind this ban, perhaps feeling like they can't quite mirror it, despite good gameplay on their own side. Perhaps feeling like Kylo Ren's best usage was from that Vendetta.
I mean, no, Kylo Ren did play Vendetta quite well, but so did SXJ. I think the issue with Vendetta is that the skill of the individual Vendetta is much less than it seems, if that makes sense. Vendetta isn't really a mechanical character, but I wouldn't even compare Vendetta to someone like a Mei, right? Where obviously, okay, you don't exactly need like mechanics on a Mei, but you still need to have, brain, you need to have wall usage, you need to have discipline with your ice block, and obviously ability to land icicles at range. That's all good, right? Vendetta is so like mechanically straightforward, but so like game sense and mostly team intensive, right? So the success of a Vendetta team isn't really about the skill of the individual Vendetta, it's the skill of the team, right? Everyone knows that you can engage with, okay, well, we'll send in a soaring slice with a bubble, and then whirlwind dash out. Everyone knows this. That's fine, right? But that's if that's your one-trick pony, then you're not going to do particularly well on Vendetta comps because eventually the fight's going to break down. Zarya might be forced to use a personal bubble at some point if there's too much pressure onto her, right? At that point, the Vendetta can't just go for a blind engage in. And then it's a kind of snowball effect of like, well, what happens when the mold is broken? What happens when the script is flipped? Obviously, Zarya is still very eminently playable. That's the thing, Zarya pairing up by bubbling a dive DPS has not been a new concept. Whether it's been the Zarya and the Reaper of the old or the more recent Zarya Venture comps, right? Instead, we're going to see a slightly different style here. VanirQuick back on their Diva comp, which with Fenris on the Sojourn, I'm a fan of. Telacy, I would not hate a Sigma here. I think Sigma's a little bit of a sleeper pick, but could do quite well into Vanir's comp, provided that the range can be kept and the distance can be managed.
And Eclipse looking for an early pick with that Widow. And the Hands are also, I guess, looking for one too, as they insta-switch to that Venture. And it's an interesting comp. I do like the Sigma here. I think Sigma's really strong right now. And if they can get rocks on the Echo or the Diva, it can be massive value. Or the Lucio too. But Skytor's got Kylo Ren instantly. I didn't even see that one coming. And there's that early rock, just bringing down Skytor, but back around the corner provides him that safety of the environment. Yoam has to force that Suzu. Has been a little bit risky, but yeah, they're aware they're up, so they can have a little bit more fun with it right now.
Yeah, that's why I talked earlier about the strength of the Zarya, right? You can see that Kylo Ren will go for these engages, but can often just get blown up if the discipline isn't that much. So as a Venture, you're forced either to do nothing and play super safe and scared, because otherwise you die, or not. Map going to be flipped here. Kylo Ren not quite joining the rest of the team. Does have the dig, however, so should be able to return with the rest of the cohort. Map flip gonna be fine work here, but Fenris still from downtown gets a nice shot, however. Skytor traded out, tank advantage for Telacy now.
Obviously that's spawn advantage too, so it was I believe a Lucio pick from Fenris, who obviously gets back in half a second really. Skytor's gonna switch to the Winston, perhaps not quite comfortable with the Diva matchup here. But yeah, I like to see it. And they're doing big things. That's a big pick from Possessor and Eclipse. And so it's looking like a really clean fight. Yoam just a 1v1 in the backline, but isn't aware of the Sojourn sliding in on her. And has, I believe, a 2k there for Eclipse. Wiping out so much of VanirQuick, and they're forced to back off on that early fight.
Yeah, Telacy got a really nice map flip. Credit to him for that. It put VanirQuick in a very uncomfortable spot. Also means that they can drag the point away, which is much easier to do than actually pushing the objective forward, especially with the Sigma. Skytor Winston pick, I like, but has to stop getting poked out so early. Skytor's not been able to play the game. You should generally have a touch by that first corner. Now you don't. Even though the Winston comp and the character work well against Telacy, does struggle on this map when you're forced to just play in main and get shot at.
And here comes the Graviton Flux.
Oh, come on!
Oh my goodness! The juke into the rock is unbelievable, and they're gonna get the Flux returned away! The rock back! That is insane! Double Sigma play. I mean, it's looking like a main tank frenzy right now. Skytor gonna jump in, and wow, it's a team kill as well. VanirQuick, they don't get the touch on that corner, but they're gonna be able to push it all the way back around with that huge team fight. I mean, talk to me about those rocks.
Welcome to geology class, ladies and gentlemen. Rosalind doesn't like the Sigma anymore, and with the Diva swap, this makes sense. Counter tank.
And another product to beat.
But what are we beating? That's a 3-man beat. We are not on the same page. Fortunately, they're able to flip the tank, but what a confusing engage from Telacy.
It's going to work. It's going to work, obviously, because Skytor brought down once again so early. I mean, Telacy love these proactive beats, but, I mean, that one wasn't even, proactive. That was just maybe even a misclick at that point, because, yeah, you're right, only 3 people, but I guess maybe they saw Skytor low and thought they could jump on it, and that they could, and they're going to get first point off the back of that. Rosalind flying down Yoham. He's used the TP and the Suzu. No cooldowns on the carry now, and Strebel is going to pay the price for it. As is Yoham, brought down by Kylo Ren, but the DMEC comes through. But yeah, Skytor punched away by that Kiriko. A big fist to the face. And VanirQuick have to go reeling back to spawn to group up. It's a nice fight there from Telacy. Slightly staggered, I feel, from VanirQuick. Not quite waiting for Skytor to get back in there.
But here's the thing you said. Yes, VanirQuick have to go last one, but so did Telacy, right? I actually don't hate that engage from VanirQuick because, yeah, even though they lost a couple of limbs in the process, it seems like they won the battle and they're looking to win the war as well. Now they're able to get a hold in a pretty advantageous spot. It's a big engage, and Skytor still can go forward with the Primal Rage, but probably can exercise some discipline, not even use it yet.
Yeah, and they're kind of forced into this room. Lucio has to slide away on those walls. And yeah, it's a really nice engage. They only at one, and that just forces Telacy to back out. That's the power of that early pick. Just delays so much time because they don't want to go in on it. They don't quite have the ults to flip it like that. And here it comes the Venture and the Sojourn ult. And the rush has been built up too, but they're not going to find any value from it. In fact, Eclipse is the one to go down, but there's Kylo Ren. Doesn't need that ultimate to find Strebel, and Fenris brought down 2. The Primal brought the Frey as well, but runs out, not too much value. Kylo Ren with another pick. Yoam gets dug away into those walls. And yeah, it's a big fight from Telacy. They always didn't seem to get much value, but maybe just chipping down the health to allow those final blows.
But that's the problem. It took 3 ultimates and 3 really strong ones. Well, Telacy, they have fantastic ults across the board generally, but you know the overclock and the Venture ult and the Kiri rush as well. VanirQuick can go back in with their rush completely unmirrored and a dupe for good measure as well. This is going to be an easy fight win.
Yeah, but I mean, the dupe is brought down early, and Skytor overextends, massively punished for it. So, I mean, the ults weren't good from Telacy, but that ult wasn't great from VanirQuick either. The rush used, and it's actually a fight lost. Pressure coming through onto his Echo as well. And Rosalind might be overextending here as well.
Yeah, it's quite strange here. Rosalind's going to be forced to use the ult. We're eventually able to get a touch on the point. Both of these teams going to use their beat. 15 seconds left on the clock, but Fenris from the side with overclock making the magic happen.
Yeah, Nikachu so far forward away from their team, and Fenris is going to obviously punish that. But look at Skytor's health once more. In the bubble, we're just going to heal up at least. Has that perk to give some extra healing. And there's that pick on the Venture, and overtime brought low. Possessive and Eclipse down 2. It's just the Lucio who's going to get killed. And it's a nice second point hold. Does get close for Telacy, but not quite able to make it. Interesting. Interesting point.
How do we put this? Holes in the plan of both teams, but Telacy's ship was the one which filled with more water and seemed to sink a bit faster. Do recall that Shambali is a notoriously difficult point to attack as well. So Telacy didn't do particularly bad here. Stopped at just a bit short of second, but you look at the scorecards and see that, yes, VanirQuick were in charge. They were winning that one in pretty strong as well. I feel like the Winston is an acquired taste. Skytor is a fantastic Winston, and when there was the Sigma that came out, it was a good adjustment, right? The problem is that when you're on the defending side, you can only generally play something a bit safer because the investment that it would take you to go all the way back to spawn is nothing, right? Every single time that Telacy loses a fight, or just anything happens, they can just go right back. They can just go right back over, counter swap to their heart's content, go Diva, go Hazard, go Sig, go whatever they may please, right? VanirQuick didn't quite have that luxury, and so you can see that Skytor's Winston did just kind of get exploded, like on repeat a couple of times. And this is one of the better Winston draw on this map. But VanirQuick, realistically in a position, still able to win this.
Yeah, I think you called it right at the end of the first map with a bit of a throw-off. It felt a bit similar on this point here. Perhaps both teams looking for something cleaner. And there's that nade lineup. I can't quite see where that landed, unfortunately, but I'm sure it got huge value.
0 men hits.
Yeah. I think that's huge value. If I'm playing Ana, I hit 0 people, I'm losing my mind. Anyway, here comes Struble on the right side, just putting the pressure on that high ground from the inside of that room. And look where SXG has already made it to. forcing so many angles to be watched already. And I like this split. There's Kylo Ren brought out because they're just so stretched thin already. It's like trying to make a pizza here. They're bringing out that dough, and now they're trying to poke holes in it. Eclipse has to slide back. I mean, it's an easy early fight for VanirQuick. They just stretch them thin and punch through.
Yeah, eventually Kylo Ren was forced into a super uncomfortable spot. VanirQuick were able to divide and conquer from there. Good discipline from Telacy, however. They back all the way up. They are now playing for this final fight. Eclipse has a strong high ground position, and Skytor can't exactly just go out of his way to jump up there. It would leave his entire backline vulnerable to, you know, the D.Va and the
Eclipse
Echo unit. That's a problem, though.
That's a big problem. SXJ's got a 2K straight off the bat. And man, 3 SXJ on for the 5K. No, I'm Skytor gonna take the last 2, but I mean, what a fight. I don't know, he just went in the back line, wiped out 3, and they have 5 minutes to push this point here. And yeah, it might be difficult to attack, but with that much time, you'd expect them to do it.
They don't call him Sex J for no reason. Like, guy's a freak of nature, right? And now Telacy are going to go right back over to Ye Old Faithful, Zarya Venture. Of course, Vendetta would be the ideal pick, but you guys, Vanir, already banned that one out. So, you know, it's a tough day at the office. Doesn't even matter if Venner is able to pick the Kiri first. Probably the most important pick in any team comp.
It's a good trade, though, bringing out that Lucio. Obviously, not quite as valuable as a Kiriko, but definitely nice to get a pick on the side, make it 4v4. SXJ flies through the beam and gets the dupe off, and Fenris dies but gets the Lucio. I'd say that's a positive trade there, because they are just looking to push them back and make things awkward. Skytor on Kylo Ren, and I mean, this is a strange dupe. Not gonna die, just gonna run out of time, not even gonna build up ult. Just they were forced back. I don't know how often I see that one. The bomb here from Skytor could actually be used to put some pressure as well. Just sit it on the point and force them to play around awkwardly, force those fights, force the angles into Fenris. They're looking to take that high ground on the left side and see early rush, and there's no Miracle Possessive yet. 8% away, but going to build up quite fast. Quite fast? Not quite yet, actually. But no picks brought through in that rush. Just adding some more space, and here comes the counter rush just after the ending. Yeah, Vanir kite away quite easily. They have 3.5 minutes to do so. They don't need to worry about dying here. They can just reset. And Skytor with the bomb can afford to take this fight. And he picks coming out. There's 2! What? There's 2! And the beat is just too late. I don't know if they didn't have it in time, or if they popped it too late. Maybe they didn't expect their teammates to get wiped by a D.Va bomb, and Fenris is going to clear it through. 2 kills. And not quite the third. The dig from the Venture going to stall out longer. But it's a death sentence, surely. The Black Mark wipes out the Venture. The excavation cannot be initiated. And that's VanirQuick with a clean map. I mean, the D.Va bomb. That's almost inexcusable for Telacy.
There is no explanation in which you commit that hard to killing a baby D.Va to the point where 2 of your team members die to a D.Va bomb. It is a D.Va bomb. No one is dying to a D.Va bomb. My grandma could get away from a D.Va bomb. Like, and she's dead, right? Like, anyone can do it. It's genuinely crazy. But somehow you throw two people a baby D.Va, and neither of them actually they eventually get the kill, sure. But they both just die to a bomb. What's even the point? And then there was just a fumble of ultimates at the end there as well. I mean, as we say, you know, big credit to VanirQuick, especially because they were able to win in a very unfavorable matchup by the end, right? Bluntly, you don't win as a D.Va, even as an D.Va Echo. You simply don't win a frontline war against Zarya Venture. You do not do it, right? It's the standard bell curve that we portion of players, and they're like, oh, well, you know, you can actually outplay the Zarya as a D.Va. And then, like, you have the bottom 5% and the top 5% that just agree, no, because she has a beam. And you will never win that. You will never win that matchup. You will never win that matchup as a D.Va. But Vanir were able to capitalize on the mistakes that were made, and they were able to kind of just brute force their way through, right? You know, the Zarya comp, inherently, it's the strongest thing in the game for a reason, but the only problem that we have with it is obviously it starts off weak. You know, Zarya is the only character in the game who will leave spawn just not as good as she will be like 30 seconds into the matchup, right? So by putting on that constant pressure, by just winning fight after fight and snowballing from there, you don't allow the Zarya any room to get charged. You don't allow the venture the ability to really do a whole lot of anything, and you can just brute force your way to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm still not over that either, but I'm pretty sure. You know what's crazy is I'm pretty sure he was looking for a remake kill as well. Because I don't know if you saw where he was standing, but he was following the people trying to kill him. And I'm 99% sure that man wanted to remake on someone right there. But it looks like we're going to get our third map selected of Runa Sappy. And I mean, I'm excited to see this map. It's another one that can be quite fast-paced. It's a push map, so you go slow, and then you're instantly into a big fight. And currently, right now, when there's a big fight, both the teams are making big mistakes. And I think VanirQuick are just they're kind of skill diffing their way through it. Like, they are making some errors in judgment, definitely. They're overextending a few times, but they are better. And they're not making as big mistakes because they are better. So, I mean, I'm excited to see a fight where... I mean, a push map where there's going to be some big brawls, some awkward high grounds, some forced engagements to try and get that extra checkpoint. And we'll see if they can clean it up. Because also... I think if Telacy can clear it up and clean up their gameplay, they definitely have a chance on this. I mean, we saw the point on Ilios. Like, it's not like it's unwinnable for them here. But they do need to stop making silly mistakes, like dying to a D.Va bomb. And then beating afterwards. And then getting 3K'd by a Sojourn.
It's called control theory. Are you familiar with it? I don't know if I invented it or whether it was a thing. But whatever, I've invented control theory. In any game... against a very good team and a very not so good team, the very not so good team will inspire hope and joy into everyone's hearts by making control really surprisingly competitive and making everyone think, oh, hang on, this could be a really close series, before then the rest of the series they get absolutely stomped on. I don't make the rules.
I'm gonna pretend that I've not played an NSE where my team has picked control, looked quite close, and then got wiped on the other maps, and pretend you're wrong, so I don't feel hurt by that personally. But I have a sneaking suspicion, with the Bastion and the Zarya bans coming through, by the way, sneaking suspicion that you might be right about that. But hey, here they come to prove us wrong. The Zarya ban could be big. I mean, Telacy, yeah, they're taking it away because I mean they struggled against it, right? They couldn't quite stop that snowball, which. I mean, VanirQuick were very good at it. As we get these comps coming, picking up instantly from that ban and the Sojourn mirror as well. It's actually a full mirror. I did not clock that until just now. It's a full mirror with the Ramatra, Vendetta, Sojourn, Lucio, and Kiriko. And the issue, I think, for Telacy with mirror comps is, once again, when you're playing a team that's slightly better than you, if they're playing the exact same thing as you, it's quite hard to figure out tools around it. Fenrir's already building up a lot of that rail charge and gets blown up by Kylo Ren. Instant win. And that's 3 for Telacy. They've actually subbed out the tank as well. I've only just caught this as my kicks on the Ramatra, or Mikix, my kicks. We'll go with my kicks on the Ramatra, and it's big value. And Skytor brought down 2. It's a huge fight for Telacy.
Yeah, fadeaway shot there onto the tank, exactly not what you want. It's not like Skytor, aside from maybe pulling out the arms, has any resource to get back quick. It's going to be quite a long stagger as well, gives Telacy a lot of time to consider their options for the next fight. Maybe not respecting the Vendetta enough, right? You know, the Vendetta is so deadly yet so delicate at the same time. You know, sometimes you get shut down so easily, other times you stop thinking about it for half a second, your entire backline has just imploded.
You want to know a secret while this fight goes on? Kylo gets blown up, and the Vendettas get traded. Telacy last series were down 0-2, and then they subbed in my kicks and went 3-0. So if this is where the turning point starts, then maybe it's on my kicks, who has just been blown up. So maybe control theory is true. It's my kicks theory versus control theory. Who's going to get the theorem? I'm calling it for me. It's my kicks theorem time. But right now, VanirQuick are trying to prove me wrong. Fenris with a closing out 2K. Possessive gets a fadeaway on the Lucio, but unfortunately that boy is speedy and he's going to slide right back through. looking to close down on that nearly 40 meter push from Telacy. It's not a bad start, but not being able to get the forward spawn is a painful one. As they are going to set up for this recontest. SXJ forced back, forced to block away, getting some slashes through, but no value found. And look where Telacy are posturing up here, looking to flip the fight and preventing the overtake here. As they go in the little trough of this street. And this is, I think, the first fight we've had in a while where there hasn't been like an instant.
Why is Vendetta screaming? Surely I'm not the only one that hears
has been yelling the whole time. Skytor onto Eclipse with that rush, gets those fists through. But it's nice blocking, and here comes the Ramol potentially. There it is, looking to make the other team suffer. But MyKix is looking to do the same thing. He gets headshot by Fenris, but what is happening is two trades, and there's, I believe, the closeout for VanirQuick, looking to get that forward push. It's a tight fight. Telacy getting some value, but yeah, it's VanirQuick just finding those final kills. Going to get that forward spawn as well, but not quite before their teammates do spawn in. So they are going to have to take the long road there. Gives Telacy a little bit more of a chance to recontest here and potentially look for a flip, but Eclipse has to play a little bit safer. Doesn't want to die early.
Yeah, now Eclipse is going to come off the high ground, try and find something with the overclock too. Sound barrier from both sides to even things out a bit. This time it's going to be SXJ getting the Vendetta differential onto Kylo Ren.
But it's the tank.
Yeah, but MyKick's down as well, right? Such a big
there we go. MyKick's theorem, please. it's not coming true. MyKick's theory, I need it. In my bowels, I need it. My stomach is rumbling, looking to be fed by MyKix, who's on to 40% of his ult charge. But Kylo Ren has the Sundering Blade, and it's the only ult online right now. I'm relatively close to the rush, probably going to build it up in this fight unless we see an early pick onto that Kiriko. Going to go for the flank, or maybe not. I'm waiting to see it come through. SXJ. Find the Eclipse, and there's MyKix down too with that Suzu alongside. Just gets that Vendetta a free kill, and I think Kylo Ren was posturing up so much for the flank that he actually had no value in that fight. His team just died too quick.
Telacy right now having a little bit of a decisiveness issue, right? It is exactly as you say, exactly what I was going to call attention to. Kylo Ren is just like sitting in the back. It's such a 4v5 VanirQuick, and they're just going to do it again. They just run forward, and like this Vendetta is totally useless. It's able to find Strebor, just able to nip at the heels of that Lucio, but I don't think it's really going to be enough.
They are pushing the bot back though, and I mean, jumping down with the fists doesn't even get a chance to punch out Nikachu. Nikachu's already brought down, and Kylo Ren does a nice job to escape. MyKick's back in as well, providing some defensive support with that shield. But there's Eclipse dead once more, and MyKick's just forced to block away here. Does get a punch onto SXJ. That's big news. But MyKick's headshot down by the Kiriko. Kylo Ren onto Fenris, but currently tank advantage of Skytor is brought very low, 6 HP, and Nikachu's killed him, and Telacy have won this fight. It is right by their spawn. There's a long way for this bot to go, but with 4.5 minutes just over left, it's definitely time. Looking to prevent forward spawn if they can. Obviously, those spawn's going to come through right before it, actually. But yeah, not going to be able to prevent that, but maybe before the recontest if they can. There's a little bit of a sword fight coming up online up here. Playing, I don't know if you remember that game on the Wii where you had to knock each other off the platform. That's what it looks like right now. Wii Sports Resort, there we go. Knock each other off the platform, and it's looking like they're going to draw, actually. They're going to go for a tie as the teams come through, and here is the MyKick's punch. Trying to get into that back line, but slowed down by that Vortex. And Kylo Ren onto Yoam and possess him onto Streetbot. It's a one-out fight instantly from Telacy. No ults required. They just brute force their way through. SXJ looking for some last-ditch picks.
That's a problem. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, Sam. Right? Possessive, they did use an ult, and that's fine. One ultimate to win the point and get progress. That's perfectly fine. But the entire time, SXJ is completely undoing the success of that fight. So essentially, Telacy used one ult for nothing to happen.
Nice though from Eclipse onto Fenris with that overclock. And the mirrored ram ults, but Skytor, yeah, just walking on Eclipse and MyKick's onto SXJ, so it's an even trade there. And the Lucio is so low. Both sides Lucio is actually quite low, but Nikachu back up to full. And Strebor, there we go, brought down by Kylo Ren. And it looks like this fight should be won out by Telacy, and they should be able to push the point that they can just get rid of this Kiriko, who's being a little bit nasty. But yeah, there it is. And Skytor brought down 2, and they finally have done it. They finally got a clean win and some bot progress, looking to finally push past that mark that they hit, I believe, in the first minute. They've not been past this 40 meter mark since minute 1. And here they're finally going to get it, and they're trying to look for forward spawn as well. Take a quick look at the scoreboard. It's quite aggressive, quite a lot of damage coming through. I mean, there's been some big fights, and there's a lot of ults into this one. There's an early overclock and gets nuked by Eclipse. It's the Lucio combination and the punch to the face, and Fenris is shut down instantly. And the Sunring Blade, I believe, comes out too and finds absolutely nothing. SSJ once more whiffing on that. And Kylo Ren can't find the person in the vortex, but there we go. Strebor brought down. And okay, I mean, what can I say? This has been the cleanest fight from Telacy in a long while. Very nice job, and very poor ult usage from VanirQuick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I don't... You use both DPS ultimates. Fenris on a mad flank, not synced up with the rest of the team, so it's very easy to shut him down. And then the Sundering Blade too gets nothing. Johan has to use this Kitsune Rush quite aggressively. Kylo Ren utilizing the Sundering Blade, but a trade onto Mykix, it's just not going to be enough for Telacy at this point.
He was just round that corner. He couldn't be seen by the Kiriko, I don't think. Because Possessive's still alive here. One of the last alive. There we go. Finally brought down, but... And Kylo Ren dead too, yeah. Fenrir's going to clean up. It's a nice job there from VanirQuick. Not quite letting the 100 meters be breached at least. And they're going to maintain that lead. But yeah, I mean, Mykix was maybe too far forward, or maybe the Kiriko was too far back. I can't quite place what the issue was there. But he was just not getting healed up despite being in that block situation. Gets punished. Is it dope? But on the flip side, they did use both support ults, and here comes the rush from Possessive. So should be advantage VanirQuick, and I mean advantage Telacy in this fight. They are gonna VanirQuick are gonna use the ram ult to try and counteract that. Skytor just standing in a corner with the block up, just being a nuisance, and Fenris is gonna find Mykix because they're so distracted trying to deal with this Ramatra who's taking next to no damage. And look at Eclipse now, 2 Kylo Ren onto Fenris, and he's kind of gonna have to do it all. Here comes the overclock though, and look, just prioritizing that ram, but finally brought down. That block only prevents so much damage, and it's okay. It's a 1-out fight, and look, 40 seconds on the clock. They have control of the bot. They have 88 meters to work with. If they can get past this corner, get that forward spawn, it's doable, right?
This fight's kind of going to decide everything. So, you know, you take a look at the board, and you should favor Telacy here. They have the Annihilation. They're going to soon have. Soon have Lucio as well. They're going to come up really aggressively as well. Mykix has to be a bit careful, but Telacy's on their side. Fantastic disengage from VanirQuick.
Oh, what a pick by Kylo Ren though. It is going to be killed for his troubles though. Fenrir is going to build up that overclock, looking to get some value here out of it. Skytor does bring someone down, but just is forced to block here, and Fenris there with the overclock shot. I believe that was like the last one in that chamber, and Strebor's beat just gives him so much sustain. It's overtime now. Mykix brought down 2, and it's a valiant attack from Telacy, but VanirQuick gonna give them actually a chance by pushing that bot a little bit forward. But yeah, Kylo Ren finally brought down, and Fenris was a nice shot. And they're gonna leave before the game quite ends. Nikachu not a happy chappy as the GGs come through, and there it is.
There we are. Okay, everything has been resolved there. Oh my lord, I wouldn't even call that control theory, my friend. Control theory suggests that, you know, control theory suggests that the first map is really close, and then the losing team get like absolutely stomped on. But no, we were seconds away. We were a click away from that one being taken the distance as well. So, you know, a lot of credit over to Telacy. Out for them, I say, is my froze for a very long time. I say as I cut out for a very long time, but I am now back. But yeah, a really good job on that map specifically. I think that Mykix showed flashes of some brilliance on the Ramatra. To be honest, Eclipse was kind of back to that map 1 form. Nikachu, of course, as per usual, charging up these beats at an alarming rate. Combine that with VanirQuick just dropping the spaghetti several times over, as they did. It's kind of a shame that Telacy lost that. that one. It was so close.
We've got, I think maybe I'm May in this situation, but I don't know. My takeaway on this, and hear me out on this one, because we're going to be doing some cooking here. Right, we've got control theory. And that's when they have the previous tank in, they have Rosalind in, and then we have Mike's theory, and it's not quite enough to breach over that win, but maybe it's enough to hinder against control theory, and that's why they look better on that map, right? Like, control theory was true. It was true and it was real until we got the tank switch. But yeah, I mean, you're right. He did show some good signs, but also just got blown up at points, despite the missed DPS ults from VanirQuick in that one fight, which was quite sad to watch. It felt a bit like me going on a flank in a diamond ranked game and then missing all my shots, except I didn't get the chance to miss all my shots. He just died. Yeah, it was a nice try from Telacy. Definitely some good moments. I mean, highlighting that Lucio, absolutely building a lot of ults, making it really difficult to break through so many of those sound barriers. But yeah, it was a good attempt. It was a good game. Very fun watch, and a couple of really close maps that were very, very intense.
Yeah, and Telacy, they're not done yet. They're going to go down to the lower bracket. VanirQuick are going to carry on in the upper bracket. Semi-finals against either Moths or New Gen. So there's still going to be plenty of action in the coming weeks as these playoffs continue. But for now, we're going to close things out. I've been Egder, joined by Sam today. Big thanks to all the production staff working in the background. Big thanks to the players putting on a good show. And thank you so much, everyone at home, for watching as well. It's been a very fun, if quite a fast day of Overwatch. Thank you so much, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can for some more VanirQuick action.
Thank you very much.